Pleasant, good day, everyone. It is a pleasure for me to join in this amazing conference you're having, this amazing summit, this amazing conversation, The Evolving Woman. And I am so honored that I have been asked to share in this conversation. And today, I want to jump right into it. And today, my conversation will be centered around the topic of handle me with care. And so this conversation is about self-care, but it's not just about the self-care we're so used to. Let me go to the gym, let me go to the spa, let me buy myself a gift, let me treat myself to a new handbag. It's deeper than that. And we're going to focus on two questions for this conversation. The first question will be, how do we treat ourselves? And then our second question will be, how do we ask others to treat us? And so this is going to be our conversation. And that conversation will be taken from two readings from my book. So I'm going to center the conversations around two specific readings from my book, Teachable Moments with DR.ABC, that has been, I think, a really source of reminders. And I like the word reminders because it is not that we don't know, but we all could use a reminder. So I don't want, when you're listening to me, you're thinking, oh, he's teaching me something totally new. He's telling me something that I never know before. That's not the strategy today. The strategy today is I am reminding all of us, and I use the word us, I am reminding all of us of some of those things that sometimes we tend to forget. And so I want to do that to remind all of us. So I want to begin with a story. When the pandemic hit 2 years ago, 2020, March, you know, all of us had to adapt, adjust, pivot, all those words, right? So we could be in survival mode. And many of us, we are still in survival mode. And I trust and hope that we will get out of survival mode and get into thriving mode, right? No matter what's happening around us, how do we move from just surviving to thriving? Because if we are in a constant survival mode, then I think you can imagine what that is doing to our bodies, what that is doing to our minds, what that is doing to our families, what that is doing to our relationships. So it's the intentionality behind getting to a thriving place. So I remember during the pandemic, there was a lot going on. And for me, I've teach online for years. I teach online for years. So it wasn't new to me. So I just pivoted. I honestly was living my best life. I'll be honest. I mean, there were days when I was stressed. There were days when it just hit like everybody else. I cried because I was unaware. I was scared. I live alone. And so it became something else. You know, I had my days when I was extremely alone and I felt lonely. And there were days when I just loved being alone and loved my space. But I was good. I was doing well. My business was thriving. I was doing amazing with my courses, my university work, my writing. I was really doing well. And one of my friends, somebody I met, a new friend, she called me one day and she said, hey, DR.ABC, just checking in on you. How you doing? You know, and I got to tell her I'm doing great. I'm fabulous. And I'm feeling, what we say, we are feeling, fragilistic, espialidocious. I was doing all of that. I was dressing up a lot. I was coming on camera. I was owning this rectangle. Trust and believe it. I owned this rectangle. I was doing just my best. And then she did something. She listened to me. She listened to me. And then she said to me, she asked me a question that was powerful. She said, but how are you on the inside? And I stopped. I paused. I'm never lost for words. I don't think I was lost for words, but it took me about a minute and a half, and I paused. And then with a lot of emotions, I felt so much of my emotions. I said to her, on the phone, I said, I'm good. I'm good on the inside. And I remember when I said that to her, how emotional I was. I said, I was good. I was good on the inside. You see, a lot of us, we tend to lie to ourselves. We lie to others. It's cute. Lying to others can be cute. You know, I don't believe in lies, but many of us, you know, we think it's cute and just get you off my back. I just tell you something. But the danger happens when we lie to ourselves. And so the first question that I said I want to engage with you is, how do we treat ourselves? How are you treating yourself? And so for me at that time, I was honest about how I was feeling on the inside because I was intentional about my self-care. Those days I remember I was doing my walk. I was very careful and intentional about my intake and my food intake. I was intentional about getting up from the computer because I was here for hours. One day I remember I clocked in maybe about 12 hours, only getting up to use the bathroom and just get a snack. And I said, this was not healthy. I could feel my eyes hurting. And so I was intentional about taking a walk, taking a rest. After a while, about 4 months into the pandemic, I used to take 2-hour lunches. When I tell you I'm a busy person, I am a busy person. I am teaching, I'm writing, I'm speaking at a lot of conferences, but I carved out 2 hours for lunch. And I would dress up like this, take off all my clothes, go inside my room, have my lunch, and watch television. I would be very, very particular and intentional about taking time, because here is this. We have to make sure that we are well enough to be good enough. I want to be good at what I do. I want to be amazing at what I do. I do this work quite a bit. And I understand that I've seen people who have done the kind of work. And when you look at them, they are broken, they're tired. I have been to events and I look at speakers and I look at presenters and I look at people and I go, maybe you should be resting. You don't look well. I'm saying it to myself. We need to say that to ourselves. Maybe I should be resting. I do not feel well. I do not look well. Let me just say this, because we're in a women's summit. There are many things that makeup cannot cover. You know that, and I know that. There are many things that makeup cannot cover. I know that, okay? Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's me, right? But we understand there are many things that makeup cannot cover. A good blouse, a good shirt, good jewelry cannot cover. When you are hurting, when you are in a bad place, you could do that for so long, right? And it catch up with you. So you have to be honest to yourself. And I want us to think about self-care in a very radical way. I want us to think about the idea. I'm sure you've heard the ideas many times that, you know, self-care is not selfish. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. I'm sure you've heard that. I'm sure you've heard that. But I want you to really think about it in a more political way when I think of somebody like Audre Lorde, who said, caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation. And that is an act of political warfare. And I know when you hear the word political warfare, you say, really, Dr. Campbell? Yes, really. It's about that intentionality to take care of ourselves, because many of us, we are destroyed by our work. How many times have you heard somebody say, you know, I got out of this bad relationship after 15 years. You know, I left this work. I want to resign, but I stayed for 5, 6 years. Imagine what you're doing to yourself in 5, 6 years. Imagine the hurt you are doing to yourself if you're waiting for 5, 6 years to do that. So what I'm going to do at this time, I'm going to share, I want to do something at this time, a part of the presentation. I want to share with you the words of a song, but I'll get back to that in a minute. I'm going to share the word of a song with you, but before I do that, I want to read from my book. The first one from my book, I want to read, of course, you see, the book has been used, right? So it's intentional. I wasn't going to get a new copy. I wanted you to understand that this book has been read. And so what I want to talk about is my first part of the book. The first part of my conversation today is choose what to carry. And like I said to you before, I'm going to share with you from the first part of my book, Teach More to DR.ABC, choose what to carry. So let's go. I've been traveling for the past 15 years, and every time I travel, no matter where I go, I always overpack. Many times when I reach my destination, I am upset as half of the things I do not wear, never needed, or could honestly have done without. This year, for the first time, I really decided to choose what to carry. I placed everything on the bed, and then I eliminated what I really didn't need to carry. I am learning more and more each day that not everything is needed and not everything is worth carrying. In this life, there are so many things that confront us, bombard us, attack us, weigh us down. These things include the weight of life's demand, job demands, relationships, families, issues, overpacked unnecessary friendships, haters, doubters, liars. These are all seemingly needed to be carried or need to be carried. I see so many people every day overpacked and excessed with all the things they honestly think they must carry. You cannot carry them all. That weight will kill you. Kill your dreams, kill your passion, kill your love for life, kill your desires to grow and glow, kill the very thing that makes you you. So today, decide what to carry. Look at all the things you have to carry and make a decision. Trust me, it seems like you must carry them all, but you do not. The weight of it will kill you. Choose what to carry. If you choose to carry less today, tomorrow you will be alive and well to carry the rest. Wishing you safe travels through this thing we call life. And so I wanted to share that first reading with you. Choose what to carry, because it's quite evident that many of us, we are challenged. Many of us, I think we are definitely challenged by what we need to carry. And I think I've seen that where we have to be more intentional about what is it that I need to carry? What is it that I need to do? What is it that, I am doing that I need to do better at? And when we choose what to carry. So what I'm going to do at this time, I want to share with you a song, a clip from a song. I want to share with you a clip from a song. And that song, I want you to listen carefully, right? It's a clip from the song from Smokey Joe Cafe, I Am Woman, all right? So want us to jump right in, take a listen at this clip, and we'll talk just for a couple seconds, okay?
I can wash out 44 pairs of socks and have them hanging on the line. I can start you iron 2 dozen shirts before you can count from 1 to 9. I can scoop up a great big dipper full of blood from the dripping can. Throw it in the skillet, go out and do my shopping and be back with good milks in a pan, 'cause I'm a woman. W-O-M-A-N. I'll say it again, hey. I can rub and scrub this whole house until it's shining like a dime. Be the baby greaser, coal and powder my face at the same time. Get all dressed up, go out and swing till 4 a.m. and then lay down at 5, jump up at 6 and start it up again. I am a woman. W-O-M-A-N. I'll say it again.
So I wanted to share that with you, because what I love about that song, I love that song. It tells you, and what it does, it professes to us and it reminds us that we are, that as women, you are totally in control, and you can do this and you can do that, and you can do the housework and the schoolwork and the study part-time and work and open a business and have a full-time job and have a marriage and have a relationship and have children and take care of your parents and still look good and still get your nails done and still take a massage and still eat right and go to the gym and take a walk and that. And if you notice, I am intentionally almost like I'm out of breath, because I want us to understand that I felt that way. That I'm like super, I'm super. And the truth is, many of you are super. But there's some of us who are doing the super and we are not taking care of ourselves. And so I want you to ask yourself, am I taking care of myself? Am I doing well? Am I taking care of myself? Am I ensuring that I am well enough, to be good enough? Okay, and so I want to go back now. I want to go right now to another song because I want to go to the opposite of that song where you feel like you're a superwoman. And I want to bring in another quick song. Then I go into my second reading, and then we'll have another conversation. So this song comes to us, a little clip from Erykah Badu. And it's the idea of bag lady, carrying all the stuff. As I said to you before, many of these songs, when we pump them into our system, they make us feel like superwoman. They make you feel like superwoman. I feel like Superman, and we feel like Wonder Woman. We feel like we are literally so powerful. We can do everything, and that is the truth. If you look around you, I mean, you're online. If you click around you and look at who is with you in this summit, you're going to look around and realize, wow, I am among some powerful women. But I guarantee you that the most powerful woman in this space, I guarantee you, if you ask her, how are you doing this and doing it well, she will tell you about her self-care strategies. She will tell you, and it's more than just a glass of champagne. It's more than just brunching with the girls. It's more than buying yourself that new bag that you don't need, right? Take it from me, I've done it because you want to treat yourself. And I will continue treating myself. I will continue doing that. But one of the biggest things we have to remember is, are we taking care of ourselves from the inside? And so I have listened to this song, Erykah Badu, Bag Lady, honestly, hundreds of times because it's one of my favorite songs. And as I was preparing for this particular conference, this particular conversation, the first verse of that song hit me. And I'm thinking, did I miss this verse for years? Because I felt like I did not understand the very, very first verse until I was preparing for this conversation. So Erykah Badu, I bring that to you in a conversation, and I involve her in our conversation. So I'm going to stop there. And that was a verse that hit me when I was listening to the song. I go, I have never thought about the verse. So it says, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back, dragging all them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you all you must hold on to is you. And I go, I've never listened to the song like that before. And I know you're saying, well, DR.ABC, that may be selfish because you cannot just hold on to yourself. But imagine if you try to hold on to everything else, everybody else, everything around you, and you let go of yourself. Imagine what will happen. And so that is why this conversation has been so important for me. That is why this conversation today that we're having has been so important to me, because I'm realizing more and more that what we have done intentionally is to hold on to so many other things and we let go of ourselves. And so I want to go into the next reading. And the next reading from this conversation is going to be, the next reading is from number 26. From the same book again, Teacher Promoted DR.ABC, and I'm here at number 26. Now this one, I want you to pull close. I want you to pull very close, and I want us to read together. So this one says, handle with care. And remember, I wrote this book and published the book over 5 years ago, but this particular one, I think I remember I wrote maybe 7 years ago. The book was published in 2015. This one was written maybe 2005, sorry. 2015, and this one was written maybe 2013. handle with care. And as we read this one, we're going to wrap up this conversation. So listen carefully. Handle with care. As a little boy growing up, I used to play dolly house, or dollhouse as you call it, a lot. There were two sets of girls I played with. One set had old dolls with an eye missing, a leg missing, or had no hair. We would often take out their hands and legs. I'm sure you remember those days. These dolls would be thrown around and we would just do about anything with these dolls. As a matter of fact, these dolls didn't even have names. I can't remember ever giving them a name. They were just dolls. The other set of girls had really nice dolls, Barbies to be exact. They were not just any Barbie. These Barbies came from the USA or Canada. They came in the usual Christmas barrels sent by parents and relatives. I want you to understand that Caribbean context. These were special, and as a matter of fact, they even had names. Each time we played dollhouse, these dolls had a birthday. We'd make a very nice cake of mud, decorated with hibiscus flowers. We celebrated these dolls. We cared for these dolls. We were proud of these dolls. We showed these dolls off. We were very careful how we combed their hair. We bathed them all the time. We made real clothes for them, and no one, and I mean no one, was allowed to pull out their hands or legs. And no one. There was a clear understanding of the difference with the dolls, with these dolls, and how we handled them. Many of us, we have settled for bad care that we receive because we feel like we are at that desperate place or last resort spot. You are scared of losing what you have. You don't wish to be single. You are getting old. You know, what will your friends think? You know, you don't want to have to answer so many questions. Have you failed yet again? If these are your many questions, then I have another question for you. Are you happy? Is that all you want? We must reach a point in our relationships. And when I say relationships, I want you to understand one of the most important relationships you could have is with yourself. A lot of us, we're so keen on, let me have a boyfriend, let me have a girlfriend, let me be in a relationship, let me get married, let me get engaged, let me be with someone. I want to be with someone. I don't want to be single. Let me tell you something. If you ask who don't want to be single, I'm the first to raise my hand. As I speak to you today, I am single. I don't want to be single, but let me tell you something. And of course, I'm stopped reading for a minute. I have looked at the choices many times that I have been offered, especially in the last 2 years. I have honestly sat down with myself and I said, I want company. Sometimes this house feels a little bit bigger than it is. You know, I love living by myself. I've lived by myself for years, but sometimes I want company. And one of the things that have happened to me is that I've had so many major events happen in my life, promotions, publications, awards, and I have had friends and family and loved ones who have celebrated me. But I do feel like it would be nice to have that one special person that when I come home, I jump in the bed and they turn to me and said, hon, babe, I'm so proud of you. I know what that feels like. I want that. But I put also on the scale of life, the choices to say, is this what I want? And I've looked at certain things and I go, I can't take this in exchange for my life just to say I have a partner, just to say I am no longer single, just to show everybody, ta-da, I am engaged. Just to do that, because I am the one who have to wake up every morning and walk in this house and live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, 365 days in a year, and more in a leap year with that person. And I've seen people in relationships that I'm saying to myself, you're better off being single, because they're like they're in a relationship by themselves. And so we get into the space where we are in a constant performance because we are not being handled with care. And we have to let our girlfriends know, and our friends know, and our co-workers know, and our colleagues know that we are in a good place. So our entire life is being pretentious. I continue reading. So we must reach a point with all our relationships. Family, I did start with family. Friendship, professional and intimate relationships, where we can tell others how to handle us. Do you feel like you've been handled with care? How are you being treated in your relationships? And I'm not just talking about the intimate relationships. I'm talking about all relationships, because many of you listening to me, one of your major struggles is family relationship, because we have this notion that blood is thicker than water. I don't play that. I'm going to be frank with you. I don't play that foolishness, because I've seen a lot of persons who have been mishandled, mistreated, mismanaged, misplaced, displaced by family. And they say, well, you know, it's family. Let me be frank with you. Maybe I'm going too frank. There are family members who have clearly said to me verbally and with their actions that I don't want to have any relationship with you. I don't want to be close to you. I don't respect you. I don't value you. They have said that to me, whether in words or in their deeds. And I can honestly tell you that there are family members that I have that I do not communicate with. And I know you're saying, well, Dr. Campbell, why are you here to speak to us about relationships? Maybe you should go fix your bad family relationship before you come to a summit to tell us how to evolve. But I'm going to surprise you. You're looking at someone who has very much evolved. This wasn't planned well, where are my notes? Well, the notes are gone. Because before I evolved to this place, I thought that because they are family, they get away. They're allowed to be rude to me, to be nasty to me, to call me names, to bully me. I have had family members who have bullied me, who have taken my money, taken my gifts, and I've said the worst things about me. And I had this notion that, well, family will always be family. That's garbage. I'd use that strong word. That is garbage. That is garbage. The idea that I must remain with this person because keeping up appearance. Yeah, we have a great family. I've said to people, I have family members that I do not engage with. So I have evolved to the place where I have realized if you are not handling me with care, then you are not going to handle me at all. So let's wrap this up. So here are my questions. Do you feel like you have been handled with care? How are you being treated in your relationships? Are the persons in your life pulling out your hands and legs? Is your hair being combed? Do the ones who profess they love you make you close? Do they celebrate you? Do they call you by your name and give you the attention you deserve? Have you settled for not having a name? Not being thrown a party? Not being given a bath and only getting to be played with when the other dolls are unavailable? There's a lot of people who the only time you get attention is when the real person who that person wants is unavailable. Some of you need to make yourself unavailable. Oh, DR.ABC, that wasn't in the script. Well, let's get into the off script. Let's get into the off script. There are some of you listening to me. You need to be less available. You are too available. That's strong. Let me remind you, because I want to make sure you understand before we leave here. that I am dead serious about this. Some of us, some of you, we need to be unavailable to people who do not handle us with care. You are too available. Have you just given up the desire to be happy and settled in because this is now become your reality and your new normal? Have you decided not to ruffle the feathers in asking for better or demanding more? I shop online a lot, and I can tell you what is in a box by the very packaging. Not everything can be thrown into a box, sealed and posted. There are things that must be handled with care. There are things you must send with the sign fragile. There are things that must be sent through overnight courier, service signed urgent. Let me repeat that. There are things that you send that you have to send in overnight courier. You have to sign for it. There are things that are so precious that they won't send it unless you pay insurance for the delivery. There are things that are so essential that someone must be home to sign for the package. There are things that are so confidential that they ask that only the person to whom it is addressed can receive the package. What is in your package? Who should it be handed to? Have you thought of letting those in your life know how you wish to be handled? Are you hurting because you have not been handled with care by the ones you love? That's where the hurt comes in. When you love someone and you realize they are not handling you with the care that you deserve, don't you think it's full time that you are handled with care? I leave that with you. I leave that with you. So that's the end of my conversation with you. I trust and know that you enjoy the rest of the summit. I trust and know that you walk away with so much more knowledge, so much more ideas, so much more that you can continue to evolve. Evolving is not a state, it's a process. So if we had an evolving scale, we all would be at different space and different place in that evolution. But I want you to continue to evolve. I want you to remember, handle yourself with care. Treat yourself good. Let people notice how you treat yourself so they will treat you the same way. And when you are not getting that treatment, you ask the person who you want to have a relationship with. This is how I wish to be handled. If I had time, I'd tell you stories of telling my friends, this is how I wish to be handled. I close it, this simple one. I remember going by a friend's house and I asked for a drink of water and they gave me water in a plastic cup. And I turned to them and I said, you know, I don't drink out of plastic cups from strangers and from anybody except if I'm at my house. And I said, when I come by your house, I want to be given a glass of water in a glass. And I know somebody said, oh, really? Yes, really. Yes, really. I want you to have that kind of love, appreciation, respect, value for me that says you have handled me with a level of care. Why? Because I've seen you treated others. I've seen you pour water for others. And what you have done is show me that there's less attention to me, less value to me, less urgency to me. And so I stopped my friend and I said, whenever I ask you for a glass of water, I want you to give it to me in this. And I did not drink that water from the cup. I returned it. Handle with care. Handle yourself with care and treat others how to handle you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. Nothing but love and blessings. Have a wonderful day.